Hype crew, what are you doing? Let's get pumped up. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving turkey and why it's not good. And if you're here, say hello right now in the chat and I'll give you guys shout outs. We're going to get to this at exactly 5 minutes. Forgot to start off with that. But there is a message on the screen telling you to skip ahead to 5 minutes because that's when we're going to start talking about it. This is the pump up period. This is when I get really hyped up for the topic. I got a lot to say tonight. It's a big one. It is a big one. Let's see here. Private chat. How's everybody doing? Anyone there? Make sure I'm in the frame correctly here. Don't want to be cutting off the top of my head. We have this this picture that goes like way back from family times that like my grandfather's head is cut off at the top. Every time somebody tries to use that picture, I don't know what the deal is here. It seems like don't have too many people in the live chat yet. But I do post online that it starts at 7:30 because this is the special period. And if you are here, make sure you say hi. We'll give you a shout out. We're going to be talking about Thanksgiving dinner, a topic near and dear to everybody's hearts. Because by this time next week, we're going to be so sick of turkey and everything else that it's not even funny. That's how it goes sometimes, you know. Who we got? Live viewers. There you go. Look at this. Got my little control center here. A lot of things going on. I got windows all over the place. It's kind of remarkable. If nobody's here, we are just going to go on a little bit of a rant. It's going to be fun. And I could just trim this part out. That's kind of the whole deal here. Spend my entire day on Zoom meetings, and then by the time I get to this on Thursday nights, I have no voice. I might have to think about doing this like on a Sunday night or something. I don't know. I do not know. Somebody clicked in and clicked out. I could tell, guys. I know you guys are doing that stuff. It's very obvious. If you are here, say hello. We're going to get started at exactly 7:30 on the topic. But you know this is the hype up period where we get pumped up for the stream, you know? I got to remember tonight to take these banners off the screen when we start because it's very likely that this is going to be for the replay only. Seems like people, maybe my topic wasn't provocative enough. Wanted to try to make this as emotional as I could so that people clicked in. I want somebody to convince me that Thanksgiving turkey is good. But that's kind of the motivation here. Plus, last year the topic was, what's on my Thanksgiving table. So I figure this kind of allows me to talk about that a little bit. And anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. How we doing here? We are so close to 1,500 subscribers. So if you know anybody who likes food, have them subscribe. If you have your mom's phone, take your mom's phone and subscribe from her account. We're doing everything we can to get to 1,500 right now. We are very, very close. All right. 40 seconds to go here, and then we are going to get right into this topic. I am going to make sure I get rid of these banners. Excuse me. Get rid of that one. Oh, we got people coming in. That's awesome. Love it. Early crew, we got 15 seconds. I'm getting right into it. Right into this topic. All right, let's get rid of that. All right, guys. Tell everybody you know to come into the stream. we have got to talk. Thanksgiving turkey is not good. And this is a little bit of a topic that I thought up to kind of talk a little bit about what's on the Thanksgiving table, not to yuck somebody's yum. The whole idea here is that, we all have our own tastes, and Thanksgiving is a holiday that of excesses. If you're in a position where you could be thankful for the fact that you can, put a whole buffet of things on the table for the family and gather as a family, you're very fortunate, and we're all very thankful for that. Because there are people who are not as fortunate. But I'm kind of digressing from the whole thing. The topic here is, given everything within the scope of a Thanksgiving dinner, how did turkey become the centerpiece of the dinner? And that's kind of what I want to know. I know, like Norman Rockwell would have a big disagreement with me about what I'm about to say in this whole rant. And that's because we've come to, in America, the tablescape of Thanksgiving dinner has that, big giant bird in the middle of the table, nice and brown, they got the legs sticking up and all that. And that's kind of the depiction of what Thanksgiving is here in America. It's something that in other cultures it's kind of difficult to even explain that. Italian American dinners kind of evolved into that kind of thing where you got baked ziti or manigotti or chicken parm, sausage and peppers all on the same table. In Italy, it's very different, the way that they have their meals. Everything's done in courses. It's a little bit they look at the way we do things, and it's a little bit I don't even want to say barbaric, because that's kind of not the right word. But different cultures have different things. So let's talk about what's on the Thanksgiving table. We have our turkey, right? There's always, your root vegetables. So things like mashed potatoes. Sometimes people do roasted potatoes. In other cases, you have like a sweet potato casserole or a sweet potato, candied sweet potatoes. That's one of my favorite things to make for Thanksgiving. And that's one thing that's going to be on the table this year for sure. You have things like corn and peas, and sometimes people even do like salads and things like that. And my argument is that of everything I've just listed so far, and we're going to talk about some other things as well, those things are better than a Thanksgiving turkey. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of the reasons is Thanksgiving turkeys aren't exactly the highest quality. You go to the supermarket, they may have been frozen for months before you even got to look at them. Uh, they're also pretty big, so to get flavor all the way through all the meat, it's pretty difficult. You cook a turkey for a pretty long time, hours on end, right? And it makes it to a point where all the other things on the table are just so much better. So what else do we have? You have your cranberry sauce, right? And some people like to make their own cranberry sauce, and some people like to use the jellied canned cranberry sauce. And it's to each their own. It's, you have your preference, and you're going to do what you're going to do with that. Me, I like to actually make my own and have a little bit of the jellied. I don't like the canned cranberry sauce that has the chunks of cranberry in it. Something about that to me is not right. So if I'm going to make my own, I'll, the night before, boil down some cranberries with, I think we're going to try this year, some orange juice and some cinnamon and some sugar, and you mash them, and it makes a nice little kind of jelly. And if you're in the live chat, make sure you say hello, and I'll do some shout outs. And if you have any opposing opinions on this or want to add something to the discussion, put it in the live chat, and I could pop it up on screen as well. That's we're gonna have some fun doing that here tonight. So what else is on the Thanksgiving table? I kind of talk about what's on our table. We always do, in my parents' house, we would do like a cornbread that my mom would inevitably cut, not in any kind of even number. It will always be like 7 pieces or 5 pieces of a circular cornbread, which was always a funny little thing that we would talk about at the table. But the turkey, to me, and this is, let me get to my point here. Out of all of those things, and I have to have my turkey with my Thanksgiving dinner. Like I'm not gonna say not to have turkey, but if you're gonna put candied sweet potatoes, rolls, we got Van Dominic here, the burnt cornbread, and all those other things. Stuffing is the big one, right? And I do want to talk about stuffing because there's something I noticed about a local restaurant's menu that kind of something I want to talk about a little bit. But you have all those things, then you have this turkey, and you bite into the turkey, and by the time you eat the turkey, it just tastes like everything else on the plate because you've loaded up your plate with 5 or 6 different things, if not more. We got this is a good point. So you're saying you wouldn't bother with the white meat turkey, it's all sides and maybe some dark meat. So I'm actually the opposite. I actually don't like the dark meat because to me the dark meat on turkey is a little greasy. So I always like the white meat because it's neutral enough to stand up against a lot of those sides. Because I always like my favorite thing about Thanksgiving dinner is the stuffing and what's that stuff called? The cranberry sauce. Like I like the kind of how those things kind of interact. And the turkey is just, you know, the turkey to me is the side dish. Yeah. And if you think about it like that, everything else, you know, turkey's kind of a small percentage of what's on your plate, you know, but again, it's taken to be the centerpiece of the Thanksgiving table, which is it is what it is. So we're having a nice chill, relaxed night here, guys. I know you know, if you're catching this on the replay, we go live here every Thursday night on YouTube, 7:30 p.m. And you know, we interact with everything in the chat. Tonight seems to be a light night, but that's okay because we got plenty to talk about in terms of Thanksgiving. So let's talk about the stuffing because that to me is a hot topic right now. So, what is stuffing? We call it stuffing or dressing. Over the last 20 years, there's been a humongous shift but over stuffing it inside of the bird versus you know, baking it separately. And a lot of this is driven by Food Network and a lot of food safety type stuff. What they say is that if you stuff a bird with traditional stuffing, by the time the stuffing is at a safe temperature for you to eat, the bird outside, the bird is too dry, that's overcooked. Um, and I think that that's definitely consistent with my experience as far as what we had in our Thanksgiving house. Um, so if I'm going to stuff a turkey or a chicken, I usually stuff it with some kind of aromatics, garlic, herbs, onions, sometimes a little bit of citrus, but I'm not too big a fan of what citrus does inside of a turkey or a chicken. So what is stuffing? Stuffing or dressing? It is basically bread, right? That you flavor up with some aromatics, stuff like celery, carrots, onions, herbs, and stale bread, right? So a local restaurant, and I'm not going to call them out specifically just because, you know, they it's not fair. I realize right now is a difficult time for restaurants, so this isn't a hit piece on a specific place. It's just a commentary. They have a menu where they'll sell you sides and only sides. They're not selling turkey, which I find interesting because the turkey is what everybody wants, but I guess that's also the kind of easiest thing to do on your own. So for a tray that feeds 4 to 6, they have a tray that costs $50. And to me, that seems to be a little bit high priced if you break it down to what it is. Even if you get the most expensive bread on the planet and you get carrots and celery and onions from the farmer's market, if you're spending more than $15 to feed 4 to 6, you're not doing it right. And I realize the markup for restaurants has to be different than what you do for home, but that's a little bit overkill. So I gotta say on that, it's not how I would do it. But again, I'm not in business, so I realize it's hard right now. So again, I was saying in the hype up period, I spend, you know, Monday through Thursdays on Zoom meetings the entire day for work. And then by the time I get to this, I'm completely my voice is gone. I have to think about doing this a different night or something just because I'm a little crazy here. Let's see what do we got here? Looks like we have a few people joining. So if you're in the live chat, say hi. We'll do some shout outs in a minute. But what I was saying earlier is that out of everything on the Thanksgiving table, the turkey is kind of it's come to be the main event, but it's kind of, to me, it's kind of a supporting character. That's my opinion on the turkey. And when I say Thanksgiving turkey is not good, there's a lot of reasons for that. And the first is that when you're cooking, something that's over like 16 to 20 pounds, to get seasoning inside into the meat, you got certain cuts that are actually like 5 or 6 inches deep at that point. And you got to think about, osmosis and how those herbs and spices are going to get inside of there. And that's why people talk a lot about brining turkeys and things like that. And that's something that I don't have too much experience with, to be completely honest. But if I were going to do a brine, I don't know that I would do a wet brine. I would probably do something like a dry brine overnight in the refrigerator, where I would get like, some nice chili powders and garlic and a whole bunch of other stuff, salt especially, because that's the important thing in a brine. And I would just, you know, put it in the refrigerator, caked on with all that stuff, um, to kind of help it, the osmosis and, all these chemical terms. I make fun of it like I'm not a chemist. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but my day job is I'm an analytical chemist. So things like osmosis and stuff, it's kind of my natural language. And so what's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? If you want to leave a comment or leave a live chat thing, that's kind of another thing. I think this is the first time that we're going to do a little something here just for just a small group, just us really. And I'm planning out a little bit of a menu. And that'll be a little bit of fun. It's always nice to have fun. Do more of our traveling over the Christmas holiday. So yeah. Last week we had a little more activity, but with the holidays, it's going to be a little spotty. I get it. And not going to lie, things are cooling down a little bit here. I have a couple of my popular videos aren't bringing in too many new people as much as they have been, but we're going to stay focused. We have everything going on. Let's talk a little bit about content. So with Thanksgiving on the way here, I have chicken sandwiches aren't going to stop, at least for this foreseeable future. I have a chicken sandwich review coming on Monday. And we're going to get back to the Thanksgiving talk in just a minute here. But Monday's chicken sandwich is going to be, God, I can't even remember anymore. I have so many in progress. Oh, it's a local. It's Crave. Local chicken sandwich, Crave. So that's that. And then tomorrow I actually have the day off from work, and I'm filming with a friend a few, at least two chicken sandwich reviews. One is the Chick-fil-A that we have to actually drive almost 2 hours out of the way to go to. So we're going to be working on that. So that's coming up soon too. I have one for a place called Atomic Wings, which I'm in the middle of editing right now, and it's crazy. And then I'm going to work on filming some other ones. Let's see. Tomorrow night we have another Italian sub review, and I was going to play a little bit of a clip, but there aren't too many people here, so I don't think it's worth it. And that's all right, because you'll see it tomorrow night. I need you guys to turn up and see this thing. Let's see. Oh, and then next week I got a recipe. You guys were asking last week for recipes. The recipe I have coming next Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. We'll talk about that in just a second. But either next Friday or Saturday, I have a recipe video for fried rice. How to turn anything in your refrigerator into fried rice. So we're going to do that on Friday or Saturday. Next week's live stream, I know I'm not doing it Thursday night because it's Thanksgiving, and we're going to be knee deep in pie and turkey and sides. So well, maybe not pie. I think pie is on our no fly list here. Should I do a live stream next Friday? That's kind of the question. If I do the same time Friday night, would you guys want that, or would you want the produced content then? It's probably only my brother in here right now, so we really don't care about his opinion. No, we do. He's all right. I don't know what the deal is here. Normally, at least people trickle in and out. Tonight, it's not. We're not. I'm not seeing anybody in here. It's eerie. It's like my brother says, a tumbleweed just went through. So let's get back to the turkey talk. Nothing wrong with the white meat as long as you brine it. That, I mean, honestly, I like the white meat even without brine. And when they say brine, like I would even consider seasoning, an hour or two before, kind of doing that. Uh, for me, I like to cut it small enough and take bites of it with other things so that it kind of flavors it. But when you're basting, and people have theories as to whether basting does anything. Uh, for all we know, maybe it doesn't do anything. I don't know. I'm not going to set up an experiment cooking two turkeys side by side. I'm sure somebody's done that on YouTube already. But yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with white meat or dark meat. I just prefer white meat, honestly. I know some people prefer dark meat. I think when I was younger, I used to like the drumsticks because of the um, what do you call it? The novelty of having, that drumstick. I was talking with some of my coworkers today, and they were saying they like to go to like the fairs and get those giant turkey drumsticks. And it's kind of like I said, it's like barbaric, and you have that, you know, drumstick and you're eating off of it. I used to like that as a kid, not so much anymore. Um, I don't like those tendons that run along the bone. There's like 4 or 5 of them in each leg, and for some reason, it's not very palatable to me. Jared, there he is. Citrus brine with herbs. Yeah, I don't have much experience with brining turkeys. I've honestly never cooked a turkey on my own. It's always been kind of part of the tablescape. My mom would always take care of the turkey. Uh, so yeah, I don't. If I were going to do it, I don't know if I would do citrus, honestly. And I'll tell you why. Whenever I've tried to roast a chicken or a turkey, or a chicken, honestly, I've never done a turkey, like I just said. Whenever I've done chicken and I try to do like the orange juice or lemon, stuffed inside, I just don't like the way the meat tastes after that. So I would have to taste it in order to actually to know whether or not I would like that. But at the end of the day, like I said, the amount of turkey on the table is on your plate is small compared to everything else. Well, Jared, you're gonna have to send that to me. I have my email in the description after this live stream. I'd like you to send that to me. I will try that, especially when turkeys are on closeout next week. Even though I'm sure I'll be sick of turkey by next Thursday night. I mean, life-changing recipe is those are pretty big words, I'm gonna say. But I'll take your word for it. The thing about me is I'll never make a judgment until I try something. If I see something on paper or on screen, you know, the only thing I'm going to judge is something that has cauliflower in it. Don't like cauliflower. No matter what, if it has cauliflower in it, it's disgusting. There's no reason for it. Let's see here. I had a little bit of a thing here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Jared, I got to bring this comment up. Your family used to boil a turkey? So when you say boil, clarify that. Did they just boil it, or did they boil and then roast? Because I know that's kind of a technique for duck. No, I wouldn't do that with a turkey. But did they just, because yeah, it doesn't sound very good. I had something I wanted to look up here. This website Delish had this gallery. I'll give you a second to type that in. Boiled in water and nothing else. Wow. That's similar to my experience with meatloaf when I was younger. And my mom is a great cook, and this is not a knock on her at all, but the term meatloaf, like that was the recipe. So she had formed meat, and she put cheese inside of it to try to flavor it, but it wasn't like what you would get at a restaurant or you know, meatloaf is basically a giant meatball. Um, she didn't know that at the time, but we fixed that. This website Delish had a gallery of stuff. So roast turkey is their first thing. Like we talked about the mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. That's the one thing I forgot. That's the one thing I'm making this year that I have to have. I love green bean casserole, and it's because to me it's such an easy dish to prepare. I know a lot of people use like canned soups and cream of chicken and cream of mushroom and all that stuff, but I love, building a little bit of a roux and sautéing a little bit of herbs in with that and tossing in your green beans and roasting up some mushrooms. When I say roasting, I do like a butter saute. This is one I might do this recipe not around this time next year, but maybe sometime in the spring, just to give it a little bit of time to develop and get some traffic on YouTube. But yeah, green bean casserole is a good one. But I love like putting extra onions on top of the French fried onions. It's my favorite thing. Gravy. How could I forget gravy? Gravy is one of those things that has to be on every Thanksgiving table. Cranberry sauce, stuffing, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows. Now, I don't like doing it as a casserole. I honestly prefer sliced sweet potatoes, kind of layered out with a little bit of butter, brown sugar, and then topping it with some butter and brown sugar. In the past, my brother has given me crap about the amount of butter I've used, and brown sugar because it makes like a syrup. I like that. Pumpkin pie. So I guess my sweet potatoes is a mix between candied yams and sweet potato casserole. Cornbread dressing. That's my brother. You got to clarify. You don't like sweet potatoes though, right? Or you do like sweet potatoes, you just don't like all the butter and brown sugar. Apple pie is another one. A lot of good apple pie recipes on YouTube. I was actually watching not another cooking show just a little while ago, and he has a really good pie crust recipe along with the apple pie. He put a little too much cinnamon for me, but oh, Mister, I love sweet potatoes. But so what is it about sweet potatoes with butter and brown sugar that you don't like? That's what I don't get. Uh, Claire Saffitz has a pie video that we every after my stream every week we watch Claire's videos. This is a point. So sometimes when I eat sweet potatoes, if they're roasted, and in this case you're basically roasting them in butter, um, they get too sweet. So I could definitely see like exactly it's unnecessary. So like I'm gonna do it the same way this year because I think Noah's gonna really like it. But I'm gonna back off a lot on the butter and brown sugar. In the past, like I think I would put 2 sticks of butter in there for like 3 or 4 sweet potatoes. It was excessive, so to speak. Baked sweet potatoes is not one I'm reading off this list right now. Baked sweet potatoes is not one that I was familiar with until have Thanksgiving dinner at Holly, Cassie's mom's house. Her dad used to love the sweet potatoes. I remember him holding them with eating them with his hand. Pecan pie, dry brine turkey. I honestly think if I'm going to do a brine turkey, it's going to be that. Roasted sweet potatoes with a bourbon butter sauce. Ooh. Jared, I think I want to eat at your place. Mashed sweet potatoes. So yeah, what I wanted to comment on. So far we're up to like 4 sweet potato dishes on this delish thing out of 35. It's a little much. And then they have holiday roasted vegetables, and that seems to also have sweet potatoes in it. Or it could be carrots. I don't know. Cranberry stuffing. I don't know. I feel like stuffing doesn't need to have cranberry in it. I think I don't know what's going on here, but my little dashboard, it seems like there's more people than it's telling me. So I'm gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it here, guys. Cranberry stuffing. For me, it's cranberry sauce and stuffing. You don't need you don't need to put cranberries in stuffing. Gravy without the dripping. So out of 35 things, they've used up 2 things on gravy and gravy without the dripping. So I don't know what is that even supposed to be. Stuffed mushrooms. So I was actually just thinking about this, not for Thanksgiving, but like for recipe ideas, because I can make really good stuffed mushrooms. Is that something that's common on a Thanksgiving table? I've personally never seen it, but also I've only been to maybe a handful or 2 different houses. Hey, Charlene, how you doing? We're talking about. I'm reading through a list of delish dishes for Thanksgiving. Just giving my opinion. Oh, another sweet potato casserole, pecan pie cheesecake. Wow, I want to pull that up on the screen here. Maybe we could get Charlene to give us a recipe for that. Where'd it go? Hold on here. Share screen. Window. Here we go. There you go. So here it is. Let me make this a little wider. I don't know what the deal is here, guys. Oh boy. There it is. Pecan pie cheesecake. Come on, that looks good. But I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you on that though. I cannot imagine eating cheesecake after Thanksgiving dinner. I just can't. I mean, it looks incredible. I mean, it's such a good idea, but I could not imagine I could not imagine eating cheesecake with pecan pie topping. But that seems epic. We are going to skip the cauliflower stuffing. Roasted butternut squash soup. Manigotti. We did that one year though. Maybe it wasn't manigotti, maybe it was tortellini. Turkey cake. What the hell is that? If you've ever had turkey cake at Thanksgiving, I'd like to know about it. Yeah, Charlene, I think that pecan pie cheesecake is a real winner. Roasted garlic mashed potatoes. I mean, mashed potatoes is mashed potatoes. When you start adding everything into it, it's still mashed potatoes. Just make one recipe and say optional roasted garlic in there. Cornbread stuffing. This is now the 3rd stuffing. Ranch seasoned roast turkey. All right. So now we're on to a story that I need to tell you guys about. One year, and it wasn't for Thanksgiving, it was for another a get together with some friends. We did a deep fried turkey. And this was my introduction to the world of deep fried turkeys, which everybody seems to love. For some reason, the person who made it soaked it in in Italian dressing, and by the time it ended up cooking, it didn't look all nice and brown like this did. It was literally black. So when I see ranch seasoned roast turkey, that reminds me of that. But I don't know. I don't know about ranch seasoned turkey. I mean, I'm not opposed if you like ranch dressing to have ranch on the side with your turkey. I will tell you there are plenty of other things on the table that you don't need ranch, but I'm sure my brother Dom is Mr. Condiments. Whenever we go to my parents' house, he will he will unload the refrigerator of the condiments in the refrigerator. So if you're that kind of person, I'd be okay with you doing ranch dressing, but ranch seasoned turkey, no way. Brown butter mashed potatoes. It's mashed potatoes. Healthy green. Okay. It's Thanksgiving. We're not doing healthy anything. I think I went through that phase 1 year, and I think I made a whole bunch of healthy stuff, and I ended up eating the regular stuff anyway. Roasted Brussels sprouts. So here's the thing. I don't have a problem with roasted Brussels sprouts. I like roasted Brussels sprouts a lot. I don't want them on Thanksgiving. Roasted Brussels sprouts is something I'm eating when I'm trying to be on prep and eat eat good, and I'll eat things like kale and salads and roasted Brussels sprouts. It's not a Thanksgiving dish for me. Garlicky green beans with crispy onions. Doesn't that sound familiar? Skillet green beans. Those look kind of miserable. I don't know. I'd much rather eat that than that on Thanksgiving. Dark chocolate bourbon pecan pie. Oh boy. All right. So let me tell you about this. In either 2013 or 2014, at my company, they did a potluck pie competition where people brought in a bunch of pies. They were lined up, and they had judges. Like there were judges and there were people who baked the pies. I think at the end of the day, there weren't enough participants to actually. Um, I think everybody ended up being a judge because you filled out a little form and whatever it was. But somebody made a dark chocolate bourbon pecan pie, and it was out of this world. And I literally begged her for the recipe. She worked in a different department. I told her this is the most phenomenal pie I've ever had. I really need that recipe, and I have to find that recipe. I'm making myself a note. Making a note. Because yeah, bourbon pecan pie sounds good. There you go. All right, number 35. What do we think it's going to be? I think it's going to be an ad. Oh no, it's not. Cheesy sweet potato casserole. Yeah, I don't know. For me, cheese I don't think goes with sweet potato. Am I wrong? What do you guys think? You think I'm out of my element on that? I don't know. I don't think it goes with it. Let's see here. Grab a quick sip. The other thing that's unfortunate for Thanksgiving for me is that I always go for like a second round later. So we always would have dinner earlier, like, sometimes even as early as like 2 o'clock. So I would have like, a nice big dinner, and then you have that crash. It's part of every Thanksgiving. Uh, but I would always do another savory plate around 7 or 8 o'clock at night and not even really get to the desserts. But something like a bourbon pecan pie is something I can get behind, but I think pies are on the no-fly zone for us here this year. So if you haven't already, hit a like on the video, please. That would help me out a lot. I believe, and I'm not sure about this, but I believe it helps to get out to more people. Probably going to stay on for a few more minutes while we got the crew here. I don't know that we're going to get any new people in. That's okay. We're having a good time. So back to my topic. Out of everything we just talked about, turkey is the least interesting thing. And I get that you could do things like brining it, and you can add herbs, and you can add a herb citrus brine. And, Jared, I'm not hating on what you were saying at all. I think that sounds wonderful. But if you're going to put something like green bean casserole, sweet potato, all that awesome stuff, we also do like rolls and things like that. To me, the turkey is the least it's the least interesting thing there. I don't know, that's my opinion on it. I'm kind of hoping somebody can convince me that turkey is categorically the best thing on the table, because that would kind of be interesting, because I don't know anybody who likes turkey enough to actually say that. But like I said earlier on in the stream, the turkey has come to be the symbolic representation of Thanksgiving. You don't see Thanksgiving depicted without a turkey. My dad's in the stream now. He has a stuffed turkey playing with the emojis. Isn't me like even on the screen here? I'm looking at this emoji and I'm like, I don't see that. I can't see it. When people do like smiley faces, like I can't. I don't know. I can't tell them apart. Am I just an old man? So okay, so here's the menu for this year as far as what I think I think I'm making because I just did my grocery list for it. So I'm gonna do a green bean casserole, and I build that from the ground up. What I do is I start, so Charlene, that's exactly what I was saying. When you look at the proportion of turkey to everything else, it's very small percentage. I don't know anybody who eats more turkey than anything else on the table. So my green bean casserole, I start with some sauteed mushrooms, and what I'll do is I'll throw a little bit of fresh thyme into it. And like I said, maybe I'll make a video of this one day because it's a pretty basic and simple recipe, and I think I do it really well. I'm giving myself a pat on the back. So once once the mushrooms are nice and brown, I like to get them really deeply browned. Then I will throw in a little bit of flour and butter and make a roux around the mushrooms. Throw in a little bit of chicken stock. Make a nice little kind of gravy, mushroom gravy, cream of mushroom. And then I'll actually add some heavy cream to it to, make it that cream of mushroom kind of thing. I'll add green beans I blanch for about 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how thick they are. I'll add that to it, toss those around really good, and then throw that in a casserole dish. There's enough oil in that, what do you call it? In that sauce that you just made that you don't need to do much else with it. Top it with French fried onions, and I like to cover it in French fried onions and then bake it for 20-25 minutes, and that you're good to go. Dad with the seasoned string beans fried with seasoned breadcrumb. That sounds good. So I'm making that. I'm making my candied sweet potatoes, and the way I make those, I realize it's hard to do this. And if anybody wants these recipes, I'm happy to email them to you. Just shoot me a message after, and I can whip together an email in my free time over the next couple of days. I boil the sweet potatoes not until they're completely soft, and you boil them whole. It's fine because you're going to peel them anyway. Then I'll peel them and slice them into like 1 centimeter thick slices. And then I'll lay those out in a casserole dish with a little bit of butter and brown sugar. We were just talking. I used to use a lot of butter and brown sugar, but this time it's going to be a small amount. I think I might do Demerara sugar or something this time too. We have different sugars in the cabinet. I might try out, and then top it with mini marshmallows and cook them until they're nice and toasted. I think Noah's going to really like those. I have a 5-year-old kid. He loves sweet stuff and he loves making a mess. So I think that might be right up his alley. So those are the two things. And then I'm actually going to make cranberry sauce with Noah the night before. And I think we're going to do that with a little bit of orange juice. One time, I think, Dom, we put in the zest. I think it was pretty gross. I don't think I'm going to do the zest. I think I might just do the juice. And I think I might throw a pinch of cinnamon in there. Cinnamon goes really good with it. Mom's famous sweet potato, the marshmallows. Mushmallows. You're obsessed. So I think what I'm going to do next week is I really like the idea of having a weekly live stream, but I don't think that, I think even putting it up on Thursday night, I think would be asking a lot. I know I want to spend time with my family, and you guys do too. And YouTube is the last thing that should be on our minds. So I'll probably do it Friday night. And I'm debating if I'm gonna do. I might do a lot. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be. I actually think I might talk about Thanksgiving leftovers and kind of what we do with Thanksgiving leftovers, because I have some. I don't want to say innovative, but I have some things that are uh, outside of the ordinary that I think you guys would really like. It involves a waffle maker, waffle iron. So I think I might do a live stream Friday night and talk about that. And actually, this is I need to figure out how mom makes that Italian sausage stuffing. Even though one year I'm pretty sure that you guys didn't use Italian sausage. That one year it was really easy to pick out. I think I might do the live stream next Friday night and make it a shorter one, and then debut the video, the anything in your refrigerator fried rice video right after that. We have this joke. You guys want to hear the joke? It's not really a joke. It's not really a joke. Believe me, if we told that joke, it would be all over. It would be all over. So let me get back to my topic, and then I'll close this out, and you guys can. Oh, I do want to thank everybody who has been in the live chat, spending time with me on Thursday night. I like to have this time just to hang out, and this is supposed to be a chill time. We have a spicy challenge coming up. I think I might do live. So that's something that you guys have to look forward to too. But it really means a lot that you guys want to spend a little bit of time with me and uh, talk about what I think is actually nonsense. I think at the heart of it, if I'm saying Thanksgiving turkey is not good and you like Thanksgiving turkey, I'm the wrong one. What you like is right. You know, that's how you got to live your life. You can't listen to other people. You can't let snobs run your life. And I'm a slob, not a snob. We're slobs versus snobs here. But you can't even let the slobs run your life. You gotta like what you like and put you're a fork in the ground and say that's what I like. You can't convince me otherwise. But my point is, and this was echoed in the live chat here. Thank you all for all your messages in the live chat tonight. Out of everything on the Thanksgiving table, and out of the percentage of turkey that people take on their plate, it's just not as good as everything else. And that's okay. But it's just amazing how in America it's kind of become, the legend of Thanksgiving. The turkey is the symbol of the Thanksgiving dinner. And I think that that's an amazing thing. And I think it's just amazing that, well, it's amazing that Thanksgiving is already here. This year has flown by and we've been through a lot this year. And with that, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for all your support in the videos here. If you have not watched this week's video from what do you call it? BurgerFi. It's one of the cutest ones we've done for the chicken sandwich wars. It's the only one where I've had a special guest, and it was Noah, my son, and it was actually a lot of fun. I'm actually going to drop that in the live chat. If you want to check that out, that'll help me out a lot too. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. And I will talk to you guys next week, Friday night.